Now, let's hear it from the Lipeños themselves on what they have to say about living in Lipa. Why not get it straight from them? We have invited three accomplished individuals who are icons in their respective fields and have made the life decision to invest and live in Lipa, Batangas. Joining us this afternoon to discuss a glimpse of the life in Lipa are media consultant and a proud owner of a 2-hectare farm in Lipa, Miss Aiza Villa. Also joining us this afternoon, news and current affairs host and columnist of the Philippine Star, who has more than 20 years of experience in crisis management and public relations, a proud Lipa resident, Mr. Cito Beltran. And lastly, we have a chemist and the Chief Executive Officer of Progressive Laboratories, Polybet Testing Services Corporation, and KPP Powers Commodities. She also serves as the chairman of the board of Harvard Business School OPM Program Philippines chapter and a new owner of a villa at the farm at San Benito. Please welcome Ms. Pinky Tobiano. I'd like to thank all of you for being here and welcome to the virtual premiere launch of the Forbes Estates Lipa. We wanted to get to know your perspectives on inspired living. I'm sure we're going to hear so much about that. And lifestyle centered on wellness around the city. So, what made you invest in Lipa as a primary or even secondary home? Let me ask Chari that question first. What made you invest in Lipa as a primary or secondary home? First, is it your primary or secondary home?
It's become my primary, Pinky, because I found living in Lipa very easy, relaxed. The people are very respectful. When you drive around Lipa, they still stop. When you're backing out, they don't honk their horns. Everyone's a bit chill than living in Manila. So I've made Lipa my primary home now, and I think Lipa is undervalued. That's why I acquired a lot at a very good price, and I believe, when you buy in this property, it will still improve the prices.
Yeah.
That's why.
So how long ago were you there?
I retired from ABS around 2016. I acquired the property in 2017. And I've been living in Lipa even before the pandemic in 2018. I was shuttling back and forth 2018, back to Parañaque, then Lipa. In 2019, I decided I'm going to stay here. With internet connection improving and, they're building a lot of roads as well, Pinky.
Yeah.
So access to the farm, to my farm is very good now.
Is it?
So I'm very glad I'm here.
Okay, let me go first to Cito. Cito, is that your primary or secondary home?
I really don't know anymore because it's so easy to go back and forth between Manila and Lipa that there are days that you just go back and forth, and there are days we stay. Well, my last stay in Lipa was 6 months, the entire 6 months during the pandemic, until finally I just had to come back to Manila to take care of some business. But it's so close that you can actually live in Lipa, work in the city in Manila, or vice versa. In fact, I have a friend who's 84 years old. He goes back and forth 3 times a week.
Wow.
Yeah. I've been to Chari's farm a couple of times, and it is an easy drive as long as I get to exit the right exit. There's something about ways that confuses me going to her place. Okay, wait, let me go to Pinky first. Pinky, what about you? Is it your primary or secondary home?
Well, hi, Pinky. Now, I think Lipa is like half-half, like Cito. half of the week I'm here, the next half I go to Manila. It's just a quick drive, and I really fell in love with Lipa. It's beautiful, and it's an eco-conscious, socially responsible city. And during the pandemic, maybe I'd like to share, I stayed here during the lockdown because of COVID. But after staying here for a month, I fell in love with here in the farm at San Benito. So I decided to live here. And look at my view, Mount Malaraya there. So I think Lipa is such a beautiful place.
Pinky, I thought you were using a chroma. Nah, kidding. That's really your background.
No, this is my back. Let me turn.
Prove
So
it.
this is my home. Okay, this is my house. So this is me. And that's the back. You see, that's and this is where, wait, let me show you. This is my pool.
Oh,
Ayan.
wow.
So it's a heated pool. At the back, you see the beautiful Mount Malaraya. You can really recharge. You know, Zoom is so convenient now. So I do my Zoom. Lipa has very good internet connection with the two service providers. And I think it's a perfect place. If you want to live longer, fresh air, I think it's the best.
You actually look really great there. But at the farm.
Max, thank you,
No,
thanks.
seriously, you know, I don't know. That background is amazing. You look great. And even Chari and Sito.
Look.
Diba?
Thank you.
Wait, ang dami ko pang tanong. Okay, I'll go back to Chari. How did your life transform when you moved to Lipa?
Oh, a lot. I've simplified. You know, I call this my third period age. Para I'm done with the corporate life. So I'm freer to do what I want to do. Taking care of animals, for one. So I have the space for that. I have fruit trees, and I love watching birds fly out there in the wild. So I have all of that. And now, because in the city before, I would just drive to work, and I've worked in several newsrooms, and Pinky, how pressure packed that was. So now I don't even know what day it is when I wake up.
I love that. I want to be able to say that to myself one day. Ano araw ngayon? Di, tsaka ano pa, you don't need a watch. Because I guess when, di ba? You're
don't
not
need a
wearing
watch.
any.
Yeah, I've simplified a lot. It's just that I check my ref every now and then to see how my supply is doing.
Yeah. Chari she'll cook you a feast when you're at her place.
Yeah, and then you have the amenities outside the city. You can go to you have a choice of 3 supermarkets, or you want to go to the wet markets. You have a choice to go to Quezon because I'm at the border, or you can go to Lipa Town. Like Sito and I were talking earlier and
How far
said,
is Sito from you? Because you're near Pinky.
yeah, I'm near the farm.
Yeah. Sito, how far are you from Chari?
I'm actually right beside Summit Golf and Country Club, which, by the way, is one of the 3 golf courses in Lipa. So for the golf aficionados, you have 2 high-end golf clubs, and the country club, and another one is I think at the air base. So, but I'm near Malvar, near Lima Park, etc.
So wait, just a follow-up, Sito, before I go to Pinky. So how was your life transformed when you moved to Lipa?
Well, to be fair, we've been in Lipa from the very beginning, late 70s, 80s, and so on. When we started out in Lipa, I remember property was 50,000 pesos per hectare, or 5 pesos per square meter. Now you can't get that in Lipa. Prices have gone up, and when Chari and you were talking, I was just going to tell you, Pinky, and your viewers, don't wait until you're retired to retire. Many people wait for 65 to retire, and they can't afford it anymore. They've gotten too old physically, and then it's too expensive. So, Pinky, at your age, you've got enough money. Go buy a place in Robinson's Forbes Lipa, because now is the time for you. And you know, there's a myth. A lot of people think, oh, I've got to have so many hectares of property. That's not necessarily the case. If you've got 1,000 square meters, most people, when they retire, they end up realizing, I need a small house, I need less, but they want space for their garden, for their pets like Chari, and for their well-being like Pinky. So, you know, don't try to study. Don't go to what everybody says, because you might get misled.
You know, Sita, those watching us right now, those are really words that need to be told, and people need to understand. Now, don't wait later. Kung kaya mo ngayon, you can invest in something. Maybe if you need to make utang, ganyan. Basta kung kakayanin mo. Kasi these people here in front of me, there's a lot of these people here, ha? Sometimes that's the farthest from their mind. So, wise words from a wise man. Okay, so what about Pinky? How did your life transform when you moved to Lipa?
My life transformed a lot. Actually, one of the reasons I moved to Lipa, Pinky, I guess some of you may know I have a medical challenge. I go to Mount Elizabeth before pandemic, like every month. I have an autoimmune and fibromyalgia. So the time I cannot fly to Mount Elizabeth in Singapore because of lockdown, I came here to the farm at San Benito, and I was able to heal myself. The tranquility and the medical facility here is amazing. They had a holistic approach, and they coordinated with my doctors in Mount Elizabeth, which made a huge difference. Actually, I'm a homeowner of Lipa. It's my 8th day living here in Lipa, and I love it. Pang 8th day ko pa lang, and I'm so in love. In fact, I told Manila, can we just Zoom CCTV? Tinitignan ko lang office. Life is such a bliss here in Lipa. It's a blessing. I'm so grateful. Kaya tama sinabi mo, Sito, eh. If you can invest in a lot in Forbes Town of Robinsons, as early as now, it's pre-selling. I think it's a perfect investment or the perfect gift you can give yourself. I hope they give good discounts and a long payment installment for us too today. Mga 10 years to pay, meron bang ganon? Mga 10 years
Tatanungin
to
natin
pay.
later.
If I-
Sita, go ahead.
Pinky, if I may cut in, no? Because when Miko was making the presentation, I was doing a quick review of the mathematics. Alam mo naman ako, take 7 sa Math 11. I realized what it costs because I'm beside a townhouse development here in Capitolio, and they're selling the properties at 32 to 35,000 for the two multi-level unit. For that kind of, 32 million, you can buy a beautiful spread there in Forbes Lipa. So,
Wow.
do the math, guys. Townhouse in Manila, and most of my friends, they've got big properties in Manila. They gave it all up, and they've moved out.
I checked in Lamudi, on Forbes Estates, and the prices are still very good. I'd get one.
Yeah, Miko, baka we have a speakers discount today. We can all commit. Diba?
You know what, guys? When we had a rehearsal,
Anyway.
that was one of my first questions. So I asked him the price, and then I did the math right away. And I have to agree with Chari, because these guys have been there. When I did the math, it's not a bad price, especially with all the amenities. I don't know if you guys heard everything that we discussed a while ago. They have so much. They have 4 parks, they have a clubhouse, they have a pool, 3 kinds of pool, etc. Basta ang dami. So it's a community with so much amenities. Wait, I want to ask something, because it was Sito who's been in Lipa since the 1970s. Sabi nga niya, 5 pesos per square meter nung panahon na yun. So, ako hindi pa ako pinapanganak noon. 1-year-old pa lang ata ako. Can you share us how Lipa has progressed? What did you see its transformation throughout the years?
Lipa is a continually developing, progressing city, and when we first came here, the highway was asphalt, Laurel Highway, 2 lanes going and coming. And then most of the side roads were mud roads. So ngayon puro sementado na, widened roads, etc. I couldn't even think or imagine myself getting sick in Lipa in the 70s and 80s because all the principal health facilities were in Metro Manila. But now Lipa has, I think, 4 big hospitals. Another one is coming up. And I had a serious accident last year, and I was rushed to Mary Mediatrics, and I was given the best care I could expect. I was out of the hospital after 3 days. They did an operation, emergency operation. And one time when I had a threat, I thought I was going to have a heart attack. I called my doctor at the heart center, and he said, "Sir, just go to our colleagues in Mary Mediatrics." So clearly, because many people who want to retire or just kind of chill out and go outside of the city, their first concern is medical facilities. Lipa has all of them. And as Chari pointed out, the supermarkets, the malls, we've got 2 malls, Robinson's Mall, SM, and then we have SNR also. So as far as the quality of life, not to mention Lima Park, it's really, it reminds me of the suburban areas of California where you have what you need, but it's not as stressful as living in the city. So, and then when Pinky was talking about internet, I have a dedicated line from PLDT. It's a home fiber optic internet, and that's what allowed me to broadcast my TV show 6 months straight out of my farm.
And there was no lagging that happened around that time, no? Okay, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, so Chari, I'll go back to you for transparency. As mentioned a while ago, I've been to Chari's farm a number of times. So it's a 2-hectare farm that Chari has. Can you tell us more about it? Tell the viewers more about it.
Oh, I got it in 2017. It was raw. Cogon grass were all around. I couldn't even see the Mount Malarayat, no? But when we started clearing it, the fruit trees revealed themselves. So, I have everything. I have avocado, guayabano. I have buko, coconut, and amazing, no? So I realized I had so much. So my life now is like a life of gratitude kasi having so much colors nga like this surrounding me every day. Minsan I'd say, Wendell, my farm caretaker, do we have kamote? Ma'am, we have a lot. I don't even know that we do, pero I can survive living off this land without getting out. Sabi nga ni Sito, when you're inside the farm, you don't want to get out anymore. It's just it's a self-sustaining place. So I really love.
But what about the cost of living? Is it cheaper in Lipa?
Thanks. Gasoline is 7 pesos cheaper. So if you want to gas up, come to me first.
Sayang pupunta pa dyan, di ba? Pakainin mo na rin, pa-overnight mo na rin. Okay, thanks for that. Chari, go ahead.
I mean, you full tank is like 7. It's a lot cheaper here in Lipa. I don't know why. Maybe because Batangas is the landing, no, for oil products that come into the Philippines. So really cheaper here.
Okay, so I'll go to Pinky now. Pinky already said she's an advocate of wellness. Can you share your journey? You did say something already a while ago, but in choosing Lipa to further promote wellness, why there? What directed you there?
Why? Yeah, Pigs, I'm a cancer survivor. And recently I was diagnosed with a challenge of an autoimmune and fibromyalgia. And Lipa has the farm at San Benito, which is also recognized by Mount Elizabeth Hospital in Singapore. So when I started coming here, first in Lipa, the air is very fresh and population is not dense. So that's one of the key. And look at this view, amazing. So how can you not fall in love with Lipa? I go to work like 3 times a week and I stay here for the rest of the week. It's only an hour and a half. In fact, when I go to Makati and go to my home in Ayala, Hillside in Quezon City, it's almost 2 hours with traffic. But from if I leave evening in Quezon City, coming to the farm at San Benito, it's just like an hour and a half. So it's really one of the blessings. And second, here in Lipa, I just go to the garden here. I pick up my thyme, my rosemary, there's kale. So this is the life I think that is ideal. And especially pinks, I brought my parents here. They're with me from time to time because my mom, Sita knows my mom very well, but mommy is a cancer survivor and currently my mom has aggressive dementia. So Lipa is a perfect place where my mom can stay and it's safe from COVID because it's all greens. Still a lot of greens compared to Manila. So if you really would like to have a second home, please invest in Robinson's Forbes Town Estate. I think their prices are still very reasonable. And 5 years from now, you wouldn't regret this decision, getting a property in Forbes Town and moving into Lipa.
Okay, so Pinky answered my next question, how to influence our guests to buy a property in Lipa. Quickly, I'll go to Sita and then Shari, that same question.
Okay, like I said already, while you still can, while you can afford, and please, many of us always say we can't afford it, etc. But a lot of my friends decided it was a lot cheaper to live in Lipa, and they would be healthier. Plus, they gave up what they had in the city, and they found better things in Lipa. We have proven to ourselves that it's a lifestyle that is okay. 6 months in Lipa, we didn't miss until some of our friends said, "Oy, umuwi ka na, sobrang haba na ng bakasyon mo." But it's more than a vacation. It's a lifestyle, and if you can arrange it with the Robinsons people, I strongly recommend that you consider it because I'm in the later part of life, and I've come to realize you don't need much. You don't need a big house. You don't need a lot of cars. In Lipa, as I told Chari, kami sa Lipa, pag dumating na kami sa bahay, hindi na kami lumalabas. Buwan na bago kami lumabas. And if you're going to be staying in Robinson's Forbes in Lipa, Forbes Estate, with all those amenities, the clubhouses, the parks, the picnic area, and then they'll put up all of those commercial area. It's all in. That's how I would describe it. It's all in, the perfect deal. And you don't need, kasi you can ask Chari, masarap sabihin may 2 hectares ka, may 1 hectare ka. Pero pag kayo na po yung magtatabas, kung kayo na yung maglilinis, sakit ng ulo, okay na yung 1,000 square meters. Pinky.
Malaki na nga yun, di ba? Malaki na yung 1,000. Si Chari kasi, ano yan well, as she mentioned, she bought it in 2017. It was offered to her. Chari, how about you? Just to convince or tell our viewers about Lipa.
Because I live here. That's why you got to move.
Stay away from her.
And also, because sabi nga namin, Batangas is a hub. You can go from, kunyari, Lipa, you can go to the Batangas port and go to Mindoro or Palawan or anywhere you want to go. With the ro-ro there and the boat, you can get your motorcycle or your pickup and board these ferries to get to the islands you want to get to. So it's very beautiful to live in Batangas, actually. You can stay in your space, or you can also venture out. Because you know what, guys? We really haven't ventured much around our own country. Quezon is beautiful. The islands are beautiful. So you'll be closer to the Batangas port where you can just bring your car over and go to that ferry and or your bikes and just venture.
Okay.
Kahit mas-
Don't forget, Chari, yung Tagaytay is 45 minutes away.
Yeah.
And then Laia is just an hour, 20 minutes away. They have great beaches, etc.
Well, it was.
And there's a lot of new good restaurants here too. If you come here, Pinky,
Like what?
there's a lot of parang here, Casa Marikit. My God, you know, I would go there. It's really good Italian food here in Lipa. And then there's this bake shop in Lipa that's popular. He trained under a Michelin chef, Iho. So it's also here. These are the best
Right.
kept secrets of Lipa. And it's just a small place.
Right.
Talagang it's so
I had
nice.
that. Those were like the croissants with, different kinds of toppings and all that. The Iho one. Yeah, that was so good. Okay,
Yeah,
guys.
diba?
Yeah, maybe when we go visit Chari, we can go visit Sito and Pinky as well. Thank you so much, everyone.
Yes.
Chari, Sito, and Pinky.
Yeah,
Pinky,
thank
take care
you.
of yourself. And thank you, Chari and Sito, for sharing
Thank
your stories.
you.
Sito, it's so good to see you again.
Same here,
Okay.
Pinky. You're looking
Chari,
good.
I'll
And
see you
please
soon.
visit us.
Thanks, everybody. So, that was.
Shari, I message you too.
Also-
Bye, Pink.
Bye-bye.
Pinky, visit me. Bye. Yeah, I'll chat with them.
That's a happy bunch. Before the virtual event draws to a conclusion, I have Miko. Miko, kanina ka pa hinahanap, Raceles, to answer any questions you may have. So, here's the question. Miko, you heard them already. So I'm going to repeat the question. Our audience wants to know, well, number one, can they visit the site? Is it available for viewing? And how can they schedule?
Yes, the site is available for viewing. So, though construction is in full swing at the moment, we've set aside an area for the buyers to be able to view the majority of the property. And they can just get in touch with us, ideally, a day before, so that we can set aside a schedule to meet the prospective clients at their place of preference or at the site itself.
And then, how much would it cost to own a lot in the property?
Prices would start at approximately 24,000 per square meter. With average lot sizes at 500 square meters, the total selling prices would start at around 12 million pesos.
I see. So again, it's about 24,000 per square meters. And then going back to what the guests were saying, Chari and Sito and Pinky, just looking at especially Sito, saying that if you can, and do it. Or it's just gonna go up. Basically, that's what they're saying. Tataas ng tataas lang yan. And maganda pa daw yung presyo according
Definitely.
to Sito.
Yeah. And actually, they would know better than us because they've been there, particularly Sito, he's been there for a long time already. And Chari just recently, and Pinky also just recently. But they're basically the proof of what that lifestyle is all about. And they've already shared with us that they've been so happy about moving there, and it really hasn't compromised about what are the things they've given up by moving out into Lipa. And actually, they've cited benefits of moving there. They've also experienced the benefits of health and better well-being and the practicality of living there. So yeah, everything that they said is essentially what awaits our residents for those who do want to invest in Forbes Estate.
Last question, Mika, do you have any message to the buyers or investors?
Okay, well, we're very excited with our entry into the luxury subdivision development space. And we want to let our viewers know that every detail of the development was designed towards giving them that elusive lifestyle of a life well lived. Thank you to everyone who joined us today this afternoon.
Thank you for that, Miko. That wraps up the Q&A. And of course, again, thank you to Miko for your time. And of course, for more questions, if you have any more questions, you can actually, of course, through your questions on there's a one-on-one chat with our property consultants later after the program. So the future of Lipa is bright ahead. Well, I might find myself moving to Lipa as well. Again, Thank you for joining us and enjoy the rest of the day.
Please stand by for the one-on-one consultations with Forbes Estates Lipa's property consultants. Feel free to send a message in the chat box if you wish to have some time with them. They'll be glad to give you more extensive information about the property.